Jonathan Rea loses ground in the final sector, so remains in P2. But as we were just hearing from Gimroda, consistent lap times from both him and Alex Lowes.
Yeah, Jonathan Rea's pace right now looks like it's down in that mid-31s, 31.4, 31.5 kind of times. Alex Lowes looks like he's a tenth or two off that, but they've got a big step on everyone else that we're seeing for their longer runs compared to what we're seeing from the Yamahas or the Hondas down the order. So it is a case of right now Kawasaki putting the miles in and getting a lot from it. We've seen Lowes the last few laps all 31.7s and then a 31.8 this time. So that's good consistent pace from him and just managing his longer stint. But right now Alvaro Bautista with those 31.2s in the hot conditions, 41 degrees track temperature right now, that's a big step.
And that was the same last time out in free practice 1 as well, that Rea and Lowes had a big, Rea in particular, Rea and Bautista on that occasion had a big advantage to this man, Toprak Razgatlioglu. This time Lowes has rather been able to separate himself from Toprak and join Bautista and Rea at the top of the timesheet. So Razgatlioglu, the rider at the moment on the back foot, but Alex Lowes showing and riding well in free practice 2 this afternoon. We recover Jonathan Rea once again. Again, almost 0.2 of a second up after 3 completed sectors. Bautista set a new personal best final sector of a 25.5. So that's the kind of pace that everyone needs to go with if they want to stick with him. 25.7 is the most that Jonathan Rea has run through there. A couple of tenths of a second potentially to lose through the final sector. And Rea again does lose the bulk of his advantage over Alvaro, or more than his advantage over Alvaro Bautista from the first 3 sectors. It is a new personal best, only half a tenth of a second down on Bautista. 1 minute 31.282 for Jonathan Rea, with just over 3 minutes remaining now in free practice 2.
Yeah, but what's interesting for Rea is faster than Bautista's time, sector 1, sector 2 and sector 3, just giving up that margin in that final sector. He's up by 0.2 of a second now in that first sector on this lap, and that's again finding another 4 or 500ths of a second in that first sector. That's where he's got the Kawasaki really well dialed in. The Kawasaki's a very stable bike, that's its strength. But whether or not it's enough of a strength to take the fight to a Ducati around here is a very different question. But that's where they've got their advantage. The Yamaha is a very forgiving bike. It's got a big window to operate in, and that's their strength. And we well know the strength of Alvaro Bautista and Ducati as an overall package.
Big wobble there for Bautista coming off the final turn, but only a tenth of a second slower than his fastest time. This latest lap has gone away from Jonathan Rea. You mentioned he was 0.2 of a second up after sector 1, but he's obviously backed out of it in the second sector.
Yeah, he's caught a bit of traffic. It looks like Scott Redding is in and around him on this lap. So maybe Rea just had a bit of a mistake into turn 4 now, finding a bit of traffic. He'll try and create a bit of space for his final couple of laps of the session.
Alex Lowes himself up after sector 1, but he's lost ground in sector 2. Toprak Razgatlioglu, meanwhile, has come into the pits, so that's going to be session over for him. At the most, he might make it back out to do a practice start after the checkered flag, but it's not going to be any more time or progress found as far as Razgatlioglu is concerned. Rea crossing the line to start another flying lap then. We'll see if he can do better this time around now that he has managed to shake clear of Scott Redding. They come through sector 1 and Rea in front of Redding. Now Michael van der Mark behind them on track as well as Razgatlioglu watches on. Alex Lowes comes through to complete another lap, so plenty of laps on the board as far as Kawasaki are concerned. That's lap number 25 for Alex Lowes, and Jonathan Rea also getting in 25 here in Phillip Island. We pick up Alvaro Bautista again coming off the final turn. He is up after 3 completed sectors, looking to lower the bar still with only a minute remaining in free practice 2, and 1 minute 31.236, so only 0.004 of a second slower than his fastest time of the day. And Bautista once again really proving and underlining the pace that he's got at the start of this weekend. The good news for everyone else is that at least Rea and Lowes have been largely able to match him, and it does look like Jonathan Rea has a real opportunity to go fastest now in the closing minute of free practice 2, because he is up by more than a quarter of a second after 3 sectors. He's been losing 0.2 to Bautista every lap around in sector 4. If he loses 0.2 this time around, he'll still be able to hold on for the fastest time. So Jonathan Rea, who was up by 3.5 of a second at the halfway mark on this lap, managing that advantage coming off the final turn now. 30 seconds remaining in free practice 2, does go fastest with a 1 minute 31.127, and it's by over a tenth of a second compared to Alvaro Bautista. Toprak Razgatlioglu will make his way out onto the the track with less than 15 seconds to go. There's a little bit of confusion there, I think, about the red flag. He is still allowed out onto the track to do his practice starts after the checkered flag falls. The checkered flag just about to fall now as Alex Lowe's crosses the line with a 1 minute 31.723. So the checkered flag is out. Free practice 2 coming to an end. And as far as riders set to improve on their final laps, well, Jonathan Rea's got off to another strong first sector. Alvaro Bautista's well down, about 7/10 of a second back. So it does look as though free practice 2 will end with Rea, Bautista and Lowe's in that order.
Yeah, and Lowe's the first to take that checkered flag. A 31.7 from him. Basically a 10-lap run there at the end of this stint. Almost every lap faster than what we've seen from 5th fastest down in this session. So that bodes very well for the Kawasaki rider. Interestingly, himself and Jonathan Rea, his teammate, both looked like as that tyre wore on, they were getting more and more comfortable out there. Different to what we normally see in Phillip Island, but we've got very different conditions now as well. A very hard tyre here, the SC1 tyre, and that means that maybe as you're wearing it a little bit, the rider then starts to have the bike work well underneath them. Maybe it's where it's just spinning up a little bit more as the grip goes out of that tyre, and you're able to use that to help turn the bike, and it's more similar to what we traditionally see around this track.
A bit of a celebration here for Jonathan Rea as he crosses the line fastest in free practice 2, and he finished fastest in FP1 this morning as well. There's no getting away from the fact, though, that Alvaro Bautista was able to run really consistent laps there in the 1 minute 31.2s.